How's it going, everybody? This is Kyle from the UA Playbook, coming back at you with another video. I'm going to go over some of the top 10 decks that I think you're going to be seeing the most at Gen Con, and some of the reasons as to why you might be seeing them. So I'm going to start things off with my number 10 deck, and that's going to be Blue SAO Ironclad. The reason why I'm going to say it's probably not going to be the number one represented deck is simply because, again, it is easy to disrupt it with things like a removal from life or from hand, susceptible to being tapped down and not being able to get those additional swings. But in the right circumstances, that deck can just absolutely decimate players. So that is the number 10 deck that I think people are going to be on. The number 9 deck that I think you're going to see possibly pop up, surprisingly again, and it's going to be a recurrence of this deck because it's kind of fallen off, but it could easily come back, is Purple Renji Rush from Bleach. The reason why I'm saying that is because in a slower vacuum format / aggro format, that's kind of like where this deck likes to go. I mean, some of the other decks I'm going to be mentioning up in a little bit, maybe a little bit slower. So Purple Renji Rush could easily come back and kind of take over. I wouldn't be surprised at seeing doing well at Gen. Number 9, Green Lancelot. What can I say about Green Lancelot that I haven't said already and my buddy Brad said in the previous video prior? Big bodies on a 5k stick that can remove things every turn and do double damage. It's kind of dumb. Now, Purple Code Geass. It is my number 8 deck number 7 deck, and that's going to be represented mainly by people that have been playing it for a very long time, have played the reps and played the new decks all around them, and know the deck in and out. I played a lot of it myself. I do like the fact that the combination of Wayne being able to neg things down and not being able to be blocked by anything is fantastic. Also has a lot of removal, and if the Garrett MK2s being able to swing in and get rid of stuff, so on and so forth. I think it's going to be a highly anticipated deck to be seen at Gen Con. So this is a new deck that's going to be coming out, Roy Mustang. Now, Roy Mustang is going to be very similar to the number 1 deck that I think you're going to be seeing quite a bit of, and I don't know if this is the best way to go about it. I wouldn't say anything on the list here that I'm giving you. It's like the best deck to play. However, I will say I think Blue Roy Mustang is going to come up and play, be seen and played with quite a bit. And the reason for that is it's going to be able to swing in, be able to remove bodies pretty consistently. Now, going on to the 6th deck that I think people are going to be playing the most. Yeah, I think that's 6. Yeah. Give me one second. I got my notes right here. No, the 5th deck that I think people are going to be playing the most is definitely Blue Sukuna and / the Sukuna Kento Nanami list, where we're right now in a format of aggression, a lot of aggro decks. So, like, either you're going to go with the Kento Nanami and be more aggressive and stunning down things and being able to try to get the swings in, or you're going to be on the Sukuna plays where you're going to be a little bit more conservative, trying to find your fingers, and possibly, just being a control freak the whole game with the 7-drop Sukuna and the 6-drop Sukuna. I think those two in particular are very good. Now, moving on to the 4th deck that I think we're going to be seeing quite a bit of, and that is Blue Ichigo Rukia from Bleach. That deck has got a lot of people just tilting their heads like, it can't be that good. It's really good, everybody. And I think if you underestimate it, it's going to come back and bite you in the butt, considering how many times it can just tap down things for free for you with the Rukia and the constant swings off of the Ichigo. So, absolutely keep your eyes out for that deck. The 3rd most popular deck that I think you're going to be seeing is Purple Squad Zero. Now, I don't have much good things to say about it. I know a lot of people do, so I would not be surprised if a whole bunch of people are on it on Gen Con. I have seen this deck do phenomenal. I've seen this deck just not do so well as well. I've been on the receiving side and the playing side of that. So that is just my hot take on it all. The 2nd best deck that I think you're going to be seeing, or the most relevant deck that you're going to be seeing at Gen Con, is going to be Yellow Saitama. Boy, oh boy, let me tell you something about a 10k beater that can't be removed naturally, and being able to swing in for 2 damage at a time, and have impact. It's pretty good. And the number 1 deck that I think you're going to be seeing quite a bit of as well is Red Asta. That deck, ladies and gentlemen, is something out of the chocolate Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory, in my opinion. You're looking for being able to swing in constantly, you got that. You're looking to negate down things like Saitama, you got that. You're looking at being able to remove things every turn, you got that too. So Red Asta would not be surprised at all for you to see constantly at Gen Con. Now, I do have some sleeper decks that I think people are going to be really not thinking of that could also be highly represented at Gen Con. Those decks that I have in mind right now at the moment are Bleach Yellow Bambi. That deck has got a lot of crazy things that it can do. It constantly recurs the lower guys and putting them back up on the front line by getting rid of things from their energy line to be able to play more things. So they can get more swings, more effects, more things like that. So that deck is definitely something I could expect to see every so often at Gen Con. Wouldn't be surprised if you see that across from you if you're going. The other deck that I think people are going to be on, not as much, but you'll probably see it once in a gray moon, is Green Toshi Kenpachi. That deck is still very good, very solid. Being able to go tap down things with the Toshi, they don't untap, and then you have Kenpachi that's able to start, well, doing massive amounts of damage. Very, 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 very good. Another deck that I'm going to bring up is Green Saitama from One Punch Man. Similar situation to Yellow One Punch Man, where you have a 10k bounty that's hard to remove unless something happens magically, like a Red Asta nullifying it or something else like that. But yes, so my hot take is I would believe you're going to be seeing some Green Saitamas. Not a whole lot, but you're going to see some. Another one that you might be seeing is Purple Black Bowls. Purple Black Bowls is highly slept on with the amount of removal, the easy board presence that it can present, and being able to chip away at life fairly easy. I think you might be a little bit surprised if you were to see it, but I'm not going to be too surprised if I hear about it. The last deck that I think people have forgotten about, Yellow Nezuko Tanjiro. Similar to how Blue SAO has got the switching mechanics of being able to swap in cards from their back line to the front line, same with Yellow Nezuko Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. Similar circumstances, can be shut down, can lose, but if the circumstances are correct, that deck can proc off and go wide. So with that being said, what are your opinions on what you're going to be seeing at Gen Con if you're going? And what are your expectations of what's going to be in the top 16? With that being said, the UA Playbook is signing out.